It's nice and warm in here. It's a lot warmer in here than outside.
I know, right? Between last week and this week, and I didn't even make you come back in here for winning the poll because I didn't think you had anything else to talk about, to be honest. So, a big congratulations on another victory. We had Billy Scott in here just a little bit ago, and he touched on just the fact that you guys obviously didn't win last year. It was something you navigated as a team. You worked hard in the off season. You're now 2 for 2. So, just talk a little bit about what it means to be 2 wins in, but also just kind of a little bit about how hard you guys work together to get back to this point.
Yeah, worked a lot of hard work in the off season. It's awesome. It's paid off 2 weeks in a row at two very hard to win races. It's funny. This time around, it was not looking great. About 40 or 50 laps to go. And yeah, we just found a way to fix the damage and just kind of push through it. I don't know. We kind of talked about what our goals were going to be after having that damage. Just let's try and get back to the top 15. And a couple laps in, I think we were running like 5th or 6th. So just crazy how we kind of found our way back to the front. And just, again, I thought today was going to end in a way where, it was one of those days where we rely on our strengths to fight through the damage and get a really good finish out of it. I never would have dreamed, kind of like last week, like we would be sitting here talking about winning the race. So, yeah, just kind of unbelievable, honestly. We were running we were at the back of the pack with, 16 laps to go or whatever it was, and we just found our way towards the front, and I thought it was going to play out in a way where I was going to be able to push Bubba and hopefully get him the victory, but just unfortunately the way it panned out when he went to cover the 77 split him, and that left me in front, open air where I kind of didn't want to be with the damage I had, but again, just got an awesome push from a Toyota teammate just like last week, and Chase Briscoe this time, and that was able to secure the victory for us.
I saw a photo posted on social media right before you walked in of a victory lane photo of your family, and Bo's smile is like so big. Just what has it been like this week with him? Just the opportunity to win the 500, to come here and win again, and him be present for both of them.
Yeah, we got home late Tuesday night, and I think on Wednesday after I got done at airspeed, we kind of got to sit around and watch the race back as a family together and listen to him chime in on everything happening in the closing laps. So that race was fun. But yeah, he was feeling exactly how I did after it was all said and done. He walked up to the car and he's like, "How did you win that race? I thought you were done. You were wrecked." That was crazy. I'm like, "That was crazy. I don't know. It just happened." So yeah, it's been fun. For me, it's fulfilling to win these races as a driver. For me, it's fulfilling to be able to have these moments with my family in victory lane. And I there's some pressure with knowing that at times my child's happiness rides on how I do on Sundays, and I'll do my best to live up to his standards.
All right. Well, a great lesson in perseverance for Bo there today. We're going to go for questions. If you have a question, raise your hand. I'm going to work to get to as many as I can. And I'm going to start with Holly and then go to Zach.
Holly Kane with the NASCAR Wire Service. Congratulations, Tyler. Can you just put into words a little bit? I mean, I know how happy you were last week to win the Daytona 500, but to answer it with this after all you went through last season. I mean, it's not just, well, winning the Daytona 500 is a great way to start things off. Now you've added a second one. I mean, you can't be beaten. You're 40 points ahead of the standings. Just talk about the up you're on right now.
Yeah, truly crazy. For many years, I talked a little bit about it, last week. For a number of years, we would leave Daytona the first couple of races and kind of be in the hole in points, in the 30s. And, I mean, we were able to claw out of it, whether it's win races or whatever the deal was, and get back where we need to be. But to be able to get through two races that, things can just happen. I mean, like, look what happened to Kyle towards the end of stage 2, getting in that crash. Someone that, scores a lot of points in the season. I mean, those are the kind of things that just sometimes are out of your control. And for us to get through 2 chaotic races with a lot of points it's a great start. I feel like, where I would typically catch up or have the opportunity to kind of catch up and get back where we need to be is the West Coast swing. And now to have, like you said, 40 points up, going into Coda, where we've been really good, going into Phoenix and Vegas, a place that, in the spring especially, we contend. So, just to start off that way, knowing how good we've been at these other places we have coming up, just really helps, the confidence, keeps me extra motivated, especially too during the week to work hard, knowing what great opportunity we have in front of us to start. I mean, at some point we could get caught up in a wreck, we could have DNF, but to start it off like this, I think everyone is extremely hungry to just keep pressing onward, whether that's winning races, winning stages, or just scoring points. We have a great opportunity in front of us to get off to a really good start.
Go ahead, Zach.
Zach Cerniolo, NASCAR.com. Tyler, congratulations both today and last week. It seems like a lot of the success that you have stems from being able to trust yourself and trust your car to make the moves necessary to carve through the field. What faith did you have to have in the car today and your team's repairs to be able to make the moves that you did to get back to where you're sitting now?
Well, to some degree, after we got that damage, Billy, as we kind of talked about, in the offseason, let's aim for a top 15 here. And in kind of in some ways, I didn't really listen. I kind of drove it into turn 1 and turn 3 on the first lap after crashing at about a 10 out of 10. And I'm glad I did because, I guess on one hand I could have crashed all by myself, but I was able to really understand what we needed if we had another caution to further repair the car, to help the now loose handling that we had in our car from the right front being gone. And, it's funny how that just kind of works. I've always kind of driven past the limit to find the limit, and in a situation like that, it kind of helped us get our car more where it needed to be at the very end. But to just have all that play out like it did was great. Did I answer your question? I got lost. Sorry. Oh, a lot. An immeasurable amount in the beginning of the race. I felt really good about where it ended in stage 1. I think it came right where it needed to be for stage 2. And then, when we had that damage, I was concerned, obviously. But we were able to make that a little bit of adjustment on it with, I don't know if it was air or just, putting right side tires on. Whatever we did there, it just made it my limiting factor was it made it that much better. And that allowed us to kind of get back to the front.
All right, Evan, go ahead.
Hey Tyler, Evan with the Covington News. So with this victory, this makes you the 67th driver to have 10 or more victories in the NASCAR Cup Series. What does that mean to be in such elite company?
What's that?
You're you're the 67th driver to have 10 or more victories in the NASCAR Cup Series. So what does that mean ultimately, just to be in that elite of company?
It's cool, but 67 is a lot. I know what you mean. It is cool though. I've over the last couple years, I've definitely hated seeing how many second place finishes I've had in my short time here in the Cup Series. So to be able to even that out a little bit more with some victories has been nice. But I don't know. I try not to think about that stuff, I guess, too much, but certainly it's good to know we're going in the right direction, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I asked any of this as well, but obviously racking up these back-to-back wins and the momentum that 2311 has had this year. Do you really feel like this is an inflection point for 2311 Racing as an organization to not only go out and compete for wins every week, but to possibly go out and compete for a championship?
Yeah, for us, 2025 was not really the year we were supposed to have. You look at what we did in 2024. in my opinion, how we should have continued to improve from 2024. You know, with how this year started and with where our cars have been running, these last 2 weeks is more on par with what 2026 should look like. You know, we show up to the racetrack every weekend with the efforts of, you know, breaking up the three big teams. You know, the Joe Gibbs of the world, the Penske's of the world, and Hendrick. You know, we want to jump in and be a part of the conversation with those three. You know, we want to take the competition to them, and to be able to pull that off the last 2 weeks, to have our cars running up towards the front the last 2 weeks, and majority parts of the race is a great start. Yes, they're speedway races. They're challenging to control, though, and I'm excited to see, you know, some of the work we put in this offseason show up over the course of the next 3 weeks at Coda, Phoenix, and Vegas.
Thanks, Tyler.
All right, Peter, go ahead.
Tyler over here, Peter Strada with TSJ Sports. You had a pretty unique celebration out there on the front stretch. Where did you get the idea for the reverse straight burnout?
I wish I would have done a little longer, but I know everyone's ready to get me out of the car. So, yeah, I didn't know if the Transax would hold up to it, but I'm glad it did. Maybe I'll do some more of that in the future. Did it look cool? Okay, good.
All right, I think that, yep, right here. I knew I had a question over there.
Yeah, Alfa Romeo, Southern Raceway Creator, congratulations on the win. You said that last year was kind of a disappointing year for you because you didn't have a win and all of that, and now you've had a couple of wins. Has your the mindset between last year and this year, with you having such a fast start, what's the mindset now when you're going now further now as you go into the next few weeks? How is your mindset probably a little different than probably what it was last year, maybe around this time of the year too?
Yeah, I think the mindset shift took place in the off season. It may seem like, I don't know if that's kind of what you mean, but for us, that shift, the work, the conversations all happened in the off season. And yeah, they're two speedway races for sure, but you know, I feel like just the adjustments we make in the race, communication wise or mentally that I'm making, have been positive throughout the day. And so, yeah, we've won 2 races, right? But I feel like the things that we worked on this off season kind of really set us up to be able to take advantage of the days that have been put in front of us.
All right, Tim, go ahead.
Tim Moore, Motorsports Today. Tyler, I want to go back on the white flag, right? You're side by side with Carson, and then Briscoe gives you a push. But did you expect him to come back with a run, and maybe are surprised it just never came there over that back
you
half
know,
of the
me
lap?
and Ross were talking about that in Victory Lane. He was just like, he just didn't know how the run didn't get there, and believe me, I felt the exact same way with my damage and everything. I thought, surely, you know, yeah, I've gotten the push out front. That's good. But you do expect, you know, the 19 or the 1 to be able to give, you know, some kind of a run for something. And, yeah, you know, that was something that me and Ross talked about. I was just blown away that they didn't come with a bigger run, especially with the damage that we had. So, I don't know. Sometimes things are just meant to be. And for some reason there, you know, we got the push down into 1, and no one was able to ever get back to us. I don't know how, but I'll take it.
And you've kind of prefaced already just how huge it is to get through the chaotic races the way you have, earning the points. But both you, Bubba, 1-2 in points. How special is that? And I think
That's
the gap
awesome.
is 40 points between you to Bubba in second. So how huge is that as well?
Well, I know Bubba's not going to be thrilled it's a 40-point gap, but, you know, for us at 23-11, you know, we take great pride in running good at everywhere that we go, and we work hard to set ourselves up for success everywhere, but of course the speedways. How can we work together? How can we kind of keep ourselves towards the front? And, you know, I hate it for him. He had a more clean race than I did tonight, and it just kind of, you know, the 77 had an opportunity to hang him out, and he did. So it's a bummer for him because I think he had all in all a better, smoother, cleaner day. But yeah, for us to be 1-2 is a great way to start it. You know, for him, the road course stuff has been getting better. It's been fun working on that with him. So we're going to do what we can to kind of stay there, you know. There's going to be some races that maybe we don't have the speed that we want, but as long as we continue to fight really hard all race long, you know, we're going to take advantage of this great start that we've had.
All right, we're going to end with Chris in the back.
Hey Tyler, Chris Gollin with Above the Yellow Line Media. So you are one of, I think the number was, I think you're the 6th person to win back-to-back races to open up the season. Someone can yell at me if I'm wrong about that. Is it an important goal for you to try and become the first person to do 3 in a row to open up the season next week?
I mean, it's. Am I going to throw away a second place to do that? Probably not. But certainly, you know, if at any point during this week I'm running out of reasons to be motivated to go win, I'll keep that in my back pocket for sure. You know, it's cool to be, you know, able to, or have the opportunity to potentially do things like that. But for me, with where this season started and what I need to do as a driver, it's all about just doing everything I can and showing up every week, being as prepared as I can. So yeah, I'll try and make that a reality.
Thanks, Tyler. Congrats.
Thank you.
All right, Tyler. Once again, thank you for spending time with us. Congratulations again on this victory, and enjoy it this week.
Thank you.